come with me and my family to see Superman. Not Gone Cap Food was bussin'.
I'm sorry, citizens. I am not giving you a video in a minute, but don't worry. I am super. Man, I was good, folks. So, as y'all can see at the beginning, I went and saw the. Oh man, they ain't even no low key, but I went and saw the GOAT. Y'all know how I feel about this. Y'all know how I feel about this, man. Y'all know how I feel about this super. Y'all know how I feel. Superman, bro. Superman came out on the 11th. Saw it yesterday though, and man, oh my gosh, what a movie! That's all I can say. Like, hey, a very we as I think comic book geeks or just nerds in general just love a good superhero film, and that was one of James Gunn, David, Nick Holt. Man, when I say y'all, Nick Holt literally embodied that role. Like, he made you believe he was. But that's for later in the video. Alright, so see by the title too. This is my ranking. You can let me know how you feel in the comments. Let me know down below everything. This is my take. These are my takes on these movies. And I'm gonna start with what I don't think are what Superman movies I don't think are up to par for me. Not to say yeah, they suck, but just are not my business at that. I already said, yeah. And we're gonna start off. Alright, said. First we're gonna start. I was just playing Superman 4. I'm sorry. Technically it was made. I wish it wasn't. I ain't gonna lie, when I watched it it wasn't even with my father. So long backstory short, my dad brought literally a whole DVD set of all Superman movies. It was literally Superman 1 to Superman Returns. And no, Superman Returns not even the worst to me. It's Superman 4, and I think, hello, can I get an amen in the chat or something? Cause I don't think anyone would blame me on that. That movie was not. Christopher Reeve himself even said he ain't even want to do the movie. He did it for strictly money, not for the love of the game. Just give me my chicken list. I'm out. That was the last time ever playing a role. Lord rest his soul to the GOAT, Christopher Reeve. But he already said it, man. He said that wasn't even what he intended for the movie to be, or for what it was worth. He said he ain't even like it. Yeah, so that's the bottom of it. Next, I have to say Superman 3. Again, Christopher Reeve said he didn't want to do this movie, but he was just get the money. And he said it was under contract too. So I did my research, man. Yeah, a Superman enthusiast. But yeah, the only good part I will say is the fact of Richard Pryor and his comic relief. That was about the only good part to me. I'm not gonna lie. Another GOAT for comedy, Richard Pryor. About the only good part of that movie, I swear, bro. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Alright, moving on. Yes, now for real, Superman Returns. Yeah. I'm gonna honestly say it, Superman Returns was okay as a Superman movie. But to be honest, I watched it. I said this once or twice, and to be honest, I like the plot, but at the same time, it's like, no. Now, in my opinion, it kind of just rips off the first movie with the plot of what Lex Luthor is trying to do. And, you know, hey, it held up, I guess, with time. It's the early 2000s with superhero movies, and we all know how that went. And honestly, yeah, I'm not gonna say I hated the movie, but at the same time, it's like it was a subpar movie at that. But it was pretty alright. Okay, next. Now we kind of going into, I'd say B tier of Superman. Let's high B tier at that. Okay, hot take. The first Superman. Okay. Next we have the first Superman. Ooh, you like, wow, you put that, like, what's gonna be your top? I might get some controversy for what's my favorite, but hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not ashamed. What you gonna do to me? Nah, I'm just playing. Yes. Next we have the first Superman, which kind of started it all. Superman the movie. And why I put this like kind of like at this tier is because of what I'm gonna say next. And above that, I put Superman 2. And you could kind of say these were the ones that started it all, but at the same time, it's like Superman 2, I think we all agree. I just like the plot of Superman 2 a little more. You know what I'm saying? They brought in General Zod and Lex to, you know, and Superman had like kind of a master plan even after he screwed up. Like, he literally screwed up, gave up his powers for his girl. And literally had to come crawling back to say, oh my gosh, I just screwed up because I was in love. Now, the planet probably gonna get destroyed. Like, no. But luckily, he got his powers back. He saved the world, you know, after having his master plan, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was actually good cinema for me when I saw Superman 2. And for the first Superman, we all know what happens, you know what I'm saying? It tells us, it's really his origin. You know, he comes to Earth, he tells about how he first becoming Superman, how he came into, like, yeah, you know, Lex, the plot was to basically get land development. You use me for land development. Yeah, it really was the plot. Like, he was gonna use missiles for land development, and then, you know, Lois dies. And then the coolest thing I have ever seen from like a vintage movie, I remember for the first time when I watched it on DVD, when he reversed time. Bro, like, just at a whim, you know, before the Avengers and everybody else trying to go back in time using time travel, Superman was first, if you think about it. Come on now. Like, let's keep it a stat. Yes. So yeah, them two are like high B tier. Now they're not low B tier, but this kind of like high B tier for me. Okay. Now we kind of getting into A tier. Okay. Now, A tier, I would say, at the bottom of A tier is Batman v Superman. Now, yes, well, you can say, well, this is technically kind of not, well, it's technically a Batman and Superman. And essentially, it kind of is. I will say is. But at the same time, you can't deny the action this movie has, the like grit it has on you. Like Snyder, you knew his goal was just to get you emotionally involved, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was very emotional, I would say, with the Snyder movies, and this was one of his darkest ones. Like, you gotta understand, like, Batman plays a prevalent role, and with that, you know what I'm saying, Superman is kind of feeling down because if you think about it, the whole world is against him at one point. So he's thinking like, wow, how did I get here? Do I need to still be protecting people? Wow. So honestly, yes. And then you know the whole after the Batman versus Superman action sequence, it was just action from there on because first he fights Batman, then Superman gotta fight Doomsday, and then Wonder Woman comes. It's really just action on action. After, I mean, come on. So that's why I say low A tier, but it still was an emotional movie. It still had, I love it. So yes, that's why I love it. All right, next I'm gonna say, and these next two choices, you can either hate me or join me, or you can either hate me or love me. It's just how I feel though. Is the Superman movie? Yes, the Superman movie that just came out. Superman. I'll say, well, what could I say? This movie, James Gunn's Superman, because it's really just called Superman. Yes, if you know, you know. If you've been following the movie for a minute, it was intentionally called Superman Legacy, but James Gunn changed it, and you know, hey, pretty fitting to say like, hey, I'm gonna change the title just to Superman. Hey, real talk, good choice. Yes, the Superman movie, 2025 James Gunn Superman that just came out. Yes, in this movie, hey, you title spoilers. So in this movie, essentially, it's really what the previous movies, like I just named, Superman the movie, Superman 2, kind of Superman Returns, you know, Batman, Superman. You know, it really plays like a toll in those movies. Like, it has a piece of it. So, you know what I mean? Like, it starts off with Superman, like, at his lowest. Like, you know, when he in the snow, and he gotta heal, and he has to... It's a bunch of fighting in this movie, though. It's a bunch of action. Like, it's action upon action in this movie. Like, you ain't never gonna be bored just saying, like, oh my gosh, he's doing too much Clark Kenting, or he's doing X, Y, and Z with Low. Nah, it's that and more, actually. Bunch of action. First fight, he's fighting a robot, or really just a mix, somebody in a mixed suit. And you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And essentially, he gets his ass whooped, and he really just says, alright, hold up, I gotta go be Clark real quick. And it zooms off to be Clark, and the mech suit is like, you know who the mech suit belongs to. It goes back to Lex's headquarters. Oh god. So it's like, oh my god, in the beginning it threw me for a loop, but it's a bunch that goes on in this movie. Like, you know, Lex tries to frame him, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Lex goes to his fortress and says that he's not here to help us because of a message I found from his family. And you know what I'm saying? You know, Lex opens a portal to another dimension. Like, literally the whole Superman hostage at one point, but he breaks out with the help of Krypto. And with that, the portal could destroy the Earth. You know what I'm saying? So with the help of Superman and his friends, and you know what I'm saying, everything, you know, goes back to where it was. But the essential part is like, Superman had to gain the trust of the people, and one for Lois, and you know, the Daily Planet, one for his friends. You know, you really got to think about it. Superman would have been in trouble himself, but you know, all in all, the people come back around because they know he just saved everybody. So this is what Superman does. He was under controversy because of Lex, of course, trying to destroy his reputation, but he come back, of course. You know, he bounces back. It's, hey, this Superman story, it has all the bits and pieces that you probably think would be in a Superman movie, but it adds. You know what I'm saying? Ultraman, which if you know, is parallel universe Superman, but in this version they made him a clone. So he fights so many people. Ultraman. Like I said, girl in a mech suit. He fights robots. Lexbots. Yeah. He fights a giant monster that was a distraction. As a distraction because Lex is, doing what I just said. He's trying to cook up a scheme to destroy Superman's reputation and essentially kill him. So yeah, and it's a bunch of characters. Metamorpho, Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, who is by far the coolest character. Like, my God, Crypto. If a girl makes a cameo, hey, a good Superman movie that was just compact with action, and I like it. I actually love it. Okay. Now, all that spiel to say, that movie is high A tier. But what is S tier Superman movie for me? I'm sorry, y'all know my GOAT, who I grew up on. Even though Christopher Reeve, I feel like this is the Michael Jordan, LeBron debate, essentially. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if I could compare Reeve to Henry Cavill, who would be Jordan, who would be LeBron? Let me know. If anybody made it this far, let me know. But yes, Man of Steel is the S tier Superman movie for me. Hey, and don't kill me in the comments or whatever. Come on, just hear me out. While you know what I'm saying. While I like James Gunn's new take, I love it. Actually, I love like how he brought this kind of new. You know what I'm saying? Like he brought the classicness kind of Superman back. I like the Snyder take on Superman because I saw it in theaters when I was 10 and literally just I freaked out. It's just a matter of with Man of Steel, if you know the movie, you know the movie. Essentially, it's about his origin in a new light. What if he came here and the human race just wasn't messing with him at all? Like from jump, it wasn't even like Lex had to make a master plan and like say, "Oh my gosh, this alien is here to kill." No, what if humanity just thought that if Superman was just here? You know what I'm saying? And at that, he was more human than all of us. If you know in that movie, he was a dock worker. He saved people at the dock. He went to school like a normal kid. He had to save people even as a kid. You know what I mean? He worked as a hostess at that. I mean, like probably as a busboy at one point. He was working as a human, but he has all these powers. And then towards the end of the movie, comes to terms with his powers because he knows he has to save the world from his own people, essentially. His own people from Krypton. Zod and all his people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, man, he really was like just a human trying to make it out here. And the fact that he had to come to terms with his alien side and save people and humanity was kind of iffy on it. Essentially, he had to kill Zod, and that's like, kind of dark. I know people will say for Superman, but I'm sorry. I like that take on Superman. I really do. So, with all that said, thank y'all for watching the video. That's my tier list. Hope y'all sticking around. You know what I'm saying? Follow me everywhere on socials. They're gonna be in the description. So Thank you, citizens, and